Hey, good afternoon. Map here, Map Investments. So I want to bring a video. I want to do a video on following up on some of the strategies that I did during this week. I know I haven't posted a video in 4 days. Been a busy week, almost 500 trades this week. So what I want to do is um, go back to some of these videos on some of these trades that I did and give you some follow-ups on the ones that I had to manage. Some of them if I don't do a video on them, it's possibly because they just expired worthless, and I keep the credit that I collected from the original trade. Uh, for like example, uh, car budget trade, for example, I still have that trade on. You could look it up here in the Thinkorswim platform, TOS. The trade is still on, still alive, still has 13 days. I'm showing that I'm 47.50, takes 250 buying power, and I actually did this trade for $40. So best case scenario is, um, well, base case scenario would be if the stock moved back up and I were able to pin it at about the $95 strike, and that would give me a profit about $288, more or less, would be the max profit on this trade. And you have a pretty big window. I can make money from extra money from about the 93 mark all the way to the uh, 97 plus, more or less, in this pyramid here, this little pyramid here. If if a car, Avis Rent a Car, doesn't do anything and stays where it's at, I keep my $40. And if it goes down, I keep my $40. So it's a very nice trade. So I'm still in that, just to update that trade. Um, what other trades? Let's take a look at Etsy, because I know a gentleman had put a comment on the Etsy video. And what I had done in Etsy, let's pull up Etsy, really took a nosedive. Okay, so my trade in Etsy originally was, let's take a look here. This was my original trade here on 430. Um, so this was my original trade on 430. I'm sorry, on May 7th was my original trade. But let me go back to, let's see when this video was from. Etsy 430. That's when I did the trade. So I did that video that same night on this entry. But just so you can take uh, a picture or memorize these broken wing butterflies that work very well. The week before I had done a broken wing butterfly on Etsy. The opening trade was for $40, and at the end of the week, I was able to close it for another credit. So I collected $65 more or less on that trade on a $250 uh, buying power reduction. So that's a great return. So on that same day, I decided to go further down because the following week they had earnings. And I did another broken wing butterfly to the downside because they had earnings. And Etsy was pretty beat up. So my assumption was that it would revert to the mean and go higher. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I'll show you how I stayed in the trade and I kept the dream alive and kept the position in Etsy. So my initial trade was a 30-cent credit at the short strike of 180. Obviously, Etsy was hit very hard. Let's pull up the chart on Etsy. Uh, Etsy. I won't make this video Etsy since this is uh, um, a follow-up on a trade that's gone bad and how I manage it and how I think Etsy's a good company and it's just an overreaction. Um, so Etsy was about 200 bucks. That's where I pinned it, and I made money on my broken wing butterflies for that week, the prior week. So I reestablished a trade at the 180 mark about here. My new broken wing butterfly for the following week. Well, the news came out on earnings, and Etsy took a dive to 154. So pretty bad sell-off. They were up on Friday, 5%, back up to 165. So what did I do? Um, so this trade right here that went bad on me, what I did was I sold my 180, 180, 250 put credit spread, and I collected my credit of 240. I tried to get 250, the max profit on the spread, because it's a $2.50 wide spread. So I should be able to get 250 back, but I wasn't. Uh, I couldn't get it, and I didn't want to wait the whole day, so I gave him 10 cents. I gave the market makers 10 cents, or the other guy on the other end, I gave him 10 cents. I could have tried to wait, but it was already down a lot, and I just wanted to keep the dream alive. So this is what I did. I closed out. Now remember, if you take a look at this trade here, right, you have the 182.50, you own it. The +1 means you own it. The -2 means that you sold it. So I sold two 180s and I bought a 175 put, right? So what I closed out was the 182.50 and the 180. This right here, because I made money on this one. Obviously, the stock moved down, and I made money on this one. The whole trade went bad on me, but I think Etsy's a good company, and I wanted to stay in the trade, so I decided to take advantage of the sell-off and just keep the dream alive. I could have probably just closed it out and done another trade, but I didn't want to, because I think Etsy's gonna come back. So I just wanted to get a bigger credit. Maybe it would have been better to just close this trade out and taken a max profit loss on on this trade. Um, which should have been probably max profit loss. I think it would have been like 220 would have been my max profit loss. My max loss would have been 220. But I decided to keep the dream alive. So I closed the one that I was making money on for a credit. So right here I have $270 in credit. And I rolled, and I stayed in the one. I have one 180 left and 175, right? Which is this one right here. Still have that one. And what I did was I rolled it out into June for a $2 credit. So I'm still in Etsy, and I've collected another credit. And we can take a look at the Analyze tab. This is how it looks now. So Etsy is at 165 right now. And we can take a look at the Etsy chart here. So you can see the RSI went under 30. So under 30 is oversold. Big bar. And under the moving averages, they reported a good quarter. They didn't report nothing bad. Um, and now we got a nice hammer candle, and it closed at a high. So I'm assuming, and this is my assumption, that the gap will get closed here. This gap will get closed, and I should be able to make money on this trade. So I went from a broken wing butterfly to now this is called a put credit spread. This is the trade I'm in right now. So right now, Etsy's about 165. Right now, up on the trade 102. 102. I'm up on the trade. When I close the other ones, when you roll, you're actually taking the loss, but you're collecting credits and lowering your cost averages and keeping your dream alive until your assumption is correct. This ties up $1,000, and what I did was I widened it. I widened it out, meaning that I made the spread wider. So I went from here, from where I was, all the way to June, 41 days out, and I sold a bigger spread. Instead of five, now it's $1,000. Why?